What's up, guys? We're reacting to some Dan Bilzerian. If you don't know Bilzerian, my bad, not Blizzarian. I just figured that out. His name is not Dan Blizzarian, like a blizzard. It's Bilzerian. I bet y'all didn't know that. I know y'all didn't know that. But he's actually running for Congress too against Randy Fine. And we support Dan Bilzerian for Congress for sure. He wants to get in there, shake things up. It looks like he has the right message. He's tired of the infiltration from, the Jewish powers. And he's talking like he's going to get in there and do something about it. So we love to see that. We're voting for him. If he gets in Congress and James Fishback wins governor, we have no choice but to move to Miami and become influencers. You guys know that's my plan. I've been saying this for a while. If either of them win, we will be going to Miami, becoming an influencer, becoming a live streamer with my shirt off, calling women whores. This is what we have to do. It's literally like fate, it's destiny. We have no choice. But this is a video of Dan. Dan doesn't really talk too much about dating, especially now that he's busy with the campaign. But here is him talking about the modern reality of dating, kind of how things are now. So let's see if he's on point with here.
There's nothing else on the planet.
Let's see it.
More powerful in initial dating than that concept. There's 7 different things that you can do to trigger a woman to chase you, and they have nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with being good looking or any of these things that guys think that they need. They think like, I have to have this, I have to have this, and they don't. If you know the tweaks, it's actually a lot easier than guys think.
It has nothing to do with money, nothing to do with status, says the rich, famous billionaire. Or not billionaire, rich, famous millionaire.
They call him the king of Instagram, Dan Bilzerian.
Stan Bilzerian.
I salute you, sir.
Hi, Dan. Nice to meet you in person. You have an image, so I have some questions.
Okay.
You've had the parties, the girls, the cars, the fame. Where are you at today?
I'm just at a place where I want to do things that make me happy. I don't get that much enjoyment out of buying a Ferrari or, buying $1 million watch. When I help people out, that's one of the few times that I'm just like, I don't know, I feel good, I'm stoked. But I also just feel like there's a big problem. There's like this whole attack on masculinity, just bad. It's bad for dating, it's bad for women.
Okay, so what do you think are the main problems that guys face today?
They have the wrong approach, they have bad information, and because of this, they're getting bad results. Bad results breeds a lack of confidence.
I do agree, they do have bad information. I think the bad information is you need to focus on game. You need to focus on your personality. You need to be respectful. You need to make sure you're caring and you're nice and these things. And you gotta go out and date, and you gotta hop on dating apps. That's all bullshit. That's all bullshit, guys. If I was to tell a guy, hey, what is something that I need to do if I want to get girls to love, admire, and respect me, and get a hot virgin baddie that loves God to submit to me for a lifetime? Well, of course, be the opposite, be a man who also loves God, who also has these things. But number one, get money and status. You need to focus on looks, money, and status. Make sure you look the best that you can. Have a great frame, be lean, have a six pack, have hollow cheeks. If not hollow cheeks, I mean, as hollow as you could get them. But being lean is probably it's the most important thing when it comes to looking good. It's hard to be lean and ugly. So that's very important, the looks, because the looks is what's going to exemplify everything else. If you're funny, but you're handsome and funny, now you're funnier, you know? If you're like a lonely guy, you're maybe a little bit weird and lonely, but you're handsome. Now you're that quirky guy. You're quirky, you know. Whatever it is, if you're dangerous, if you're violent, you have anger issues, but you're handsome, now you're like misunderstood. You know what I'm saying? So the looks always always make your characteristics be seen through a positive light. So I would just say looks, I would say money, of course. I mean, women are only looking up at people who earn more than them. So the money is without money, you're just invisible, and the status as well for that. I like to put money and status kind of in the same thing. You know, sadly, hypergamy is a thing. So that's what I would tell guys. Because if hypergamy statistics just say this, women are after the top 10 to 15% man. So my advice would be get in the picture first. Get in the picture. That's my advice.
It starts just like perpetuating the problem. As a woman, you could fall down on the driveway, go into your car and meet your dream guy because he stops and thinks you're hot, and he makes it happen. As a guy, a hot girl's just not gonna barge into his basement and say, hey, I'm here. Like, no, that has to like go out and like be proactive. Not only does he have to meet a woman, he has to make himself attractive. It sounds like a lot of work, but if you know the tweaks and the things that you can do, it's actually a lot easier than guys think.
Let's say I'm the average guy. I'm not charismatic. I'm not rich. Maybe I don't think I'm that attractive. What would you tell me?
For me, like I didn't get a lot of girls in high school. I went in the military. I was around guys for 4 years. No women wanted to date me. Like I've gone to the bar, gotten nervous. Like I went up to talk to the girl. She rejected me. Like looked at me like a piece of shit. So I've like seen that whole side of it, and I get it, like I understand what it's like to want a girl and have women not want you. I had this epiphany in college. I was the same guy that I was in the military, and nothing had changed. But I realized once I triggered women to chase me, all of my flaws disappeared. When you're chasing something, you're not thinking about, do I want this? You're thinking about, how do I get this? And when you're thinking about how do you get something, you're not qualifying it, right? The moment I hit on you, and I tell you how great you are, and how pretty your eyes are, whatever that I tell you, you're looking at me from the perspective of, do I want this guy? Is he good enough? Like, what's wrong with him? It's kind of the same way as if you go to a house and a house is for sale. Okay, I want an inspection. I want to make sure I don't make a bad purchase. Versus if you're at an auction and 20 are bidding on this house and you really like it, you're not thinking about what's wrong with the house. You're like, how do I beat these other 20 guys to get it? When you trigger women to chase you, the whole perception changes, right? And so whether you're a short guy, whether you're a fat guy, whether you're a broke guy, like all these things disappear if the woman is in pursuit. Something can't chase you if you're chasing it.
Were you ever scared to approach girls?
Yeah, when I was in high school, I was like scared to talk to hot girls. It was one of those things where like me and my buddies would be like, oh, you gonna go talk to her? No, you go talk to her, It's like then you go up and you get rejected and then all your friends laugh at you. I think that's a very common thing. You get nervous going up to a hot girl and talking to her, like if you don't have a lot of experience, and also if you think she's out of your league, and then you approach in the wrong way, and then you encourage rejection by your bad approach. So I think it really depends on your perspective. And my perspective when I was younger was like, I don't want to get rejected.
Was there a girl that you really wanted that you couldn't get?
There was a lot of girls that I really wanted that I couldn't get. I would say every girl from like junior high to the military that I found attractive was a girl that I wanted that I couldn't get. I had posters of girls on the wall. I thought about what it would be like to have a hot girlfriend. I would see these people in relationships and just not understand why women didn't like me. It was something I struggled with. One that stands out is I was in 11th grade and I'd finally gotten a date with a hot girl. And I told my friends about it, I told my parents about it. We're gonna go to prom. My dad's cheap ass didn't want to buy me a suit, so he gave me his suit, which, the guy's 6'1", I'm 5'9". And it was like 4 inches too long. I'm walking out there with this clown suit. I'm ready to go on this date to prom with this girl. And she canceled. And so I didn't know what to do. I was embarrassed. I didn't want to tell my parents. And so I just put on the suit and I got in my car and drove off, and I like sat in a parking lot for 2 hours just feeling like a fucking loser and a failure, and wondering like what I was going to tell my parents when I came home, because they were going to ask me how prom went. It was a feeling, and I had a lot of those. Like I had a lot of the shitty feelings, like I said, which is probably what motivated me to make a strong change and fix this problem. I think there's two roads that you can go down when you have experiences like that, and one of them is quitting and just feeling like I'm not attracted to women and it's just not going to work for me. And I think that's a path that a lot of guys lately are taking. And I think the other road that you can go down is figure out how to make yourself more attractive and do something about it. And that's what I did. As a man, like, you can make yourself more attractive, and I think that's one of the things that, like, guys just don't realize. They think what I'm born with is what I'm stuck with, and, like, I'm either attractive or I'm not, but you can change that. And I think that's the biggest thing that I want to, like, impart to guys, is that they have a choice and they can make a difference.
Okay, Dan, be honest here. Have you ever been heartbroken?
Yeah, I had this girlfriend that I was fully in love. She was super smart, she was interesting, she was intelligent, all of, like, the really important you know, and so I really wanted to make it work, and it didn't work. Yeah, that messed me up, and I see guys go through heartbreaks, and when they don't have options and when they just stew on it, it's like I've seen guys like borderline suicide all over it. So it's definitely something that I think guys struggle with, and the less options they have, and the more they feel like, I'm never gonna meet another girl, the more depressing it is. And he feels like there's nobody else on earth that might like him, and this was the only one. That's like a really tough pill to swallow.
Was there a moment where you realized that there's a better way to approach dating?
My big light bulb moment was, in the military, I've been approaching all these girls. I've been hitting on all these girls, and I've been just getting result after result after result. And I think it all stems from doing the wrong thing. The commonly accepted thing to do with women is, hey, I think you're beautiful, can I buy you a drink? And it's like, that seems normal, but like, you've basically told this woman that you want to sleep with her and you're willing to pay to do it. I mean, if we're breaking it down, I mean, he's not coming up to you because he thinks you have a great personality. He's coming up to you because he thinks you're hot and he probably wants to f you, right? And the example I give is, it's like playing poker. If you play poker and everybody fucking shows their cards, it's a lot easier to win at poker. Well, when a guy is hitting on you, he's telling you that he wants to f you, so it's the equivalent in a poker game of showing your cards. I mean, almost all guys start the interaction from that position, which is a position of massive detriment. You're coming into this interaction with a weight around your ankles, and you're gonna have to run.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that part. I feel like if you never wanna come off with intent. Well, you want to show intent, you know what I'm saying? But you never want to start off by, you know, just immediately giving the girl all the validation. You know, you want to start more from an even playing field, like a, hey, what made you wear those shoes outside, or something that's not just like, you're beautiful, can I buy you a drink? Because then it's just like, the chase is over, the tension is over, everything is over, you know. And I mean, who even cares about, honestly, casual dating? Like, who even cares about game anyways? Like, this shit doesn't even really matter. But it's cool to know, because it sells. This goes the same for everything. You know, even if you want to do a collab with somebody, or you want to work with somebody on a project, or, you know, you're trying to get a client, you always want to come in from a warm, maybe lukewarm position. You never just want to start out super hot. Like, I want you to join. I want you to sign up. I want you to buy this thing for $500. You go in like, well, man, it's like you know, you're having a hard time doing this thing you're doing. They're like, yeah, it's been pretty hard, honestly. I might need some help. Then you build from there. Same thing with this. You know, you don't just go in and guns blazing. So I had to tie it into like a business aspect, because at this point, I just couldn't give two fucks about like just meeting girls at the bar. Like, why? Get rich and famous.
A marathon, and it wasn't until I got to college that I really like started to understand the male-female dynamics. It was just very eye-opening, because, you know, now women were coming to me because I figured out how to like trigger these women to chase. And I went from being able to get 0 pussy to having 14 girls the first semester. And it's not like I like studied pickup. It's not like I got more confident. There was no change. The only change was I had a different approach. Once that happened, it was effortless.
Trigger her to chase. What does that mean exactly?
There's 7 different things that you can do to like trigger a woman to chase you, and they have nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with being good looking or any of these things that guys think that they need. Because when you're chasing her, she's looking at you with this magnifying glass, focusing on your flaws, focusing on the reasons why you may not be good enough. Because like, when you can get something, what's the natural next reaction is like, do I want it? I know I can get it. Now, do I want to have it? It's human nature, right? There are subtle ways that you can do it. Like, for instance, Neil Strauss. He was on a TV show with Jessica Alba. He asked her, other than your looks, what's good about you?
So if you're beautiful, so what? You got lucky in the gene pool, right? So if I was to ask you to name 3 things about yourself that would make me want to get to know you better, and none of them can be about your looks or what you do, what would they be?
I'm loyal,
right?
Reliable,
right?
And hardworking.
That's awesome. Guys are
the classic strategy, make her qualify for you. Yeah, but like, why should I date you though? You know, well, you're hot, that's cool, but like, what other characteristics you got? You're hot, that's what's up, you know. But what else? You know, that's always just, if you at least have that type of attitude with women, I mean, they're just gonna love you because every other guy does the complete opposite. They qualify for them. Like, wow, you're really hot. So what are you looking for in a guy? And then they're like, I want somebody who's caring and responsible and a leader and has money and compassionate and you know, ambitious. And now it's on them. Now they're like, yeah, I really work really hard and I make a lot of money and you know, I'm cool, I'm fun. I'll never forget. I was watching one of my friend's YouTube videos. He does YouTube. And he was so down bad with this girl that he was trying to get on a video. It was just like a train wreck. It was like hard to watch. And it got to a point where he's saying like, I'm cool. I mean, I'm funny. I could make you laugh. Like, we can have a good time. And it's just like, brother. Brother, please. You know, he needs to watch some Neil Strauss.
always trying to sell themselves to women. Instead, you kind of got to flip the script, make someone who start selling themselves to you.
By just asking that one question, now all of a sudden he's taken away her strongest trait, her good looks, which has gotten her everywhere in life. He's also framed it to where she's trying to sell herself. And when you're trying to sell yourself to somebody, you're not thinking about, do I like this guy? You're trying to convince this guy to like you. It just changes the game. It just changes the entire psychology of it. And it's a very big difference. Small things will create a very different dynamic. Making a girl chase you and keeping her chasing you is so fucking powerful. There's nothing else on the planet more powerful fucking initial dating than that concept.
How does that work?
Okay, so one of the ways to trigger a woman to chase you is to elicit curiosity. And like I said, I think that's one of the mistakes that guys make is they overassure girls, they take the mystery out of it, they take the curiosity out of it. And look, women like the curiosity. That's why they read these romance books that have all these crazy twists and turns, and people like to wonder. And so the more she wonders about you, the more she's gonna be attracted to you. An example I would give is they click over on a phone call and they wanna tell the girl, hey, I was talking to my mother, or that was a...
Yeah, you gotta be mysterious. I mean, yeah. I feel like these are kind of general things that we know.
You don't want to get behind.
Because I talk to you guys about these things. I'm a schizomaniac, if you guys wondered. I mean, I go about these things in depth all the time. So these are things you guys know. You watch my channel. You know these things. And if not, hey, join the community, join the channel. We just had a debate with our dating coach, Defund Simping. I don't know if you guys can tell, I'm a little bit tired because we just had a 2-hour debate and that went well. Of course, I won that debate. You know how we do over here. We study. We read books, we prepare. What y'all know about this, man? Schopenhauer. You know, we're books maxing. We're books maxing, we're looks maxing, we're status maxing, we're money maxing, we're reaction maxing, we're content maxing, we're live stream maxing, we're lean maxing. We're we're caffeine maxing. We're polo maxing. This is one thing for sure that you guys are probably gonna see from now on. Me wearing a polo, this is what it's gonna be. Because there's just no point in getting a plain t-shirt anymore. Because the collar, it doesn't matter if you have a suit, Doesn't matter if you have a zip up, a quarter zip, or a button down, or a polo, just something with the collar. It just gives you so much credibility. And this is proven. This is like statistically proven. They did a study and they asked women what piece of clothing, what outfit, what clothes do you find the most attractive in men? And it was like overwhelmingly, it wasn't even close. It was a suit. They all said a suit. And it's like, okay, well, why is that? And it makes you understand that actually the fucking graphic tees and hoodies and fucking t-shirts, like that shit, nobody cares about that shit. That's just you, you know. You're kind of wearing that for yourself. The better you look, when someone's like, "Oh, you dressed nice, you dressed well." Maybe you got a button down, you got a polo, you got a suit. Those are the things that actually benefit you, actually help you get more opportunities, actually is the optimal way to dress. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's just like looks maxing, you know? If you get big and get a good frame, you get big shoulders, you get a big chest, you get a wide back, you know, you're gonna have a way bigger frame and your physical presence is just gonna be way better. People are gonna respond way more favorably to somebody who has just a wider, bigger frame. Then that's more optimal compared to just being thinner and small. Same thing with dressing. If your looks maxing, why aren't you dress maxing? Why aren't you fashion maxing? You know, you gotta have the polo, you gotta have the collar. It just adds to it. So now, and you see some guys, you see like Clav and his other looks maxing guys, they understand that too. They wear polos all the time because they don't dress for themselves. They dress to maximize all they're doing is just trying to like maximize the value in the category, which is it's funny, you know, we came to the same conclusion. We're both wearing polos now. So, hey man, I get you like SpongeBob hoodies and shit, and hey, I probably like, you know, I got some anime hoodies and Dragon Ball Z hoodies that I thought were cool, but it's not about you. Like, who gives a fuck what you think? If you can wear a polo and the chances and opportunities that you're going to get when you step out the door is going to be like 10% better, then you need to fucking throw the Goku hoodies away. Because at that point, what are we talking about? You know? But hey, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Go out there, vote for Dan Bilzerian, show him some love, retweet his stuff. He's campaigning right now. Support him. He got my cosign. Um, like the video, comment, watch the debate we just did. It's on my Kick, it's on YouTube, it's on live. Um, go to my live streams, it's on there. You know, show some love. Let me know how I did on there. It was our first debate on the channel. We got some more coming. We got a debate coming this Saturday against a challenger. They trying to challenge your boy, man. I'm telling you. They see me on Instagram. They see me popping off Rookie of the Year. I'm that guy. They're like, "Oh, this guy's too based. I wanna say something to him. I wanna show him up." You know. So we got a lot of collabs in store for the future, man. So it's gonna be cool, man. So subscribe to the channel, so you guys can check that out. It's gonna be a great summer, and I'll see you guys in the next video.